What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review, another special Kickstarter review, and today I'm very excited to be checking out Avignon Pilgrimage. This is a standalone expansion to the original Avignon, A Clash of Popes, a micro game for 2 players, taking about 5 to 10 minutes to play, and I'd say it's for ages probably about 8 plus. And in Avignon Pilgrimage, this is a standalone / expansion to the original Avignon, in which you were trying to get people to come help you become Pope or something like that. I'm not really sure what the theme is about. It is a light, press your luck, try and outthink, outmaneuver your opponent micro game. But do I recommend this over the original? Let's open it up and I'll tell you what I think. Alright then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Avignon Pilgrimage. Before we get started, I want to mention this is the promotional copy in front of me, so obviously what you see here is not what you're going to get, even though I do believe the artwork is completely done, the card effects, everything is done except for the rules and the actual production of the game. So first of all, we got a handy dandy little rule sheet. This does not obviously what you're going to get. I'm assuming what you're going to get is going to be similar to the original rules, which were okay, but they definitely could have been a little bit better. I understand they fit a lot in with this space, so I'm hoping they take the time to improve the rule booklet just a smidge here or there. But if you know how to play the original Avignon, A Clash of Popes, this should feel very, very similar, and you should be able to pick it up in no time at all. So in Avignon, what you're going to be trying to do is you were trying to get 3 of these cards from the center down to your area down here, and you win the game. Or there are special rules with what are 2 cards in the game that are called nobles. And if you ever have the noble and the peasant in front of you, you lose the game. There's 2 peasants. There's only going to be 12 cards in the entire game. Or if you have the noble and someone else has the knight, then you automatically win the game. And the knight, once again, is going to have a little text right down here that will say knight. So what is different about this game from the original game? Well, the original game had different cards. That's it. That is literally the only difference. Now you're going to have 6 new cards. You're going to have 2 of each of those 6 new cards that will do different effects. And I'll show you how the game is played. And then I will go specifically and show you the new cards in the game. So very, very simple. On your turn, what you're going to be doing is you are going to have you're going to be able to take 2 actions, and there are 4 actions that you can perform. The first player only gets 1 action, but after that, you always get 2 actions on your turn. Let's go over it. First one, you can push a card away from you. Simple as that. You push a card, now it is closer to your opponent. You can also have the option to pull a card closer to you. You pull a card, boom. You pull a card like that, you push, you pull. Now, one rule with this game is you can't take the same action twice. So you couldn't pull twice or push twice. The third action is that you can excommunicate a card. What that means is that you take a card and you get rid of it and replace it with another card. And you make sure that you replace it exactly where you did it. So I want to excommunicate this card. I get rid of it. It goes to the discard pile. Boom. We have a new card down here. And then I can potentially pull this card to me. That would be my 2 actions for the turn. The final action you can do, the one you'll probably do nearly every turn, is to do what's called a petition. Now, on each one of these cards, you're going to see petition. This will allow you to do the special ability of that card. So switch the position of 2 other characters, and then you're going to pull one of them, and then push one of them as well. So that would be his special ability. We'll look at another one. The Vicar, who is a bishop, you're going to push him twice towards your opponent, which kind of stinks. However, then you are going to excommunicate any other character. That's what the X mean. And then you're going to pull the new character close to you. So there's going to be 6 new abilities that you can do in the game, and I'll go over those abilities. But once again, to refresh your memory, the first person to get 3 cards down here, so this isn't here, this is in my score pile right here, is going to win the game. Or the first person to have the noble and the peasant be on their opponent's side, or the noble on your side and the knight on their side is going to win the game. And I'd say it's about a 50-50 split how the game is won. So let's go over the different cards in the game that are new. So we got the Vicar, the Nuncio, we're missing 1, and there it is. So first we have the Vicar. We already went over that one. So next we have the Scribe, who is a noble. And what you're going to do is you're going to push the card away from you, and then you're either going to push or pull any in a path adjacent to a scribe. This is a really good one if you can get it early and you have a lot of cards. Also, at the start of your turn, if the scribe is in Genoa and you have 2 in your congregation, then you'll win the game. So this card actually adds a new victory condition to the game, which is always a nice thing. Whenever you see this crown, that means that's a victory condition. Next, we have the ascetic, who is a peasant, and if he ever ends in Avignon or Rome, so if he's ever super duper close to going into somebody's village, he actually goes one space closer to Genoa. So you can actually use that to your ability. Maybe you have to, push one of your opponents, you push a card towards your opponent. This might be the one you want to do because he might come right back if he's going into Rome or Avignon. Also, petition, that means your opponent is going to pull any and all characters that share a faction with it. So next, petition, switch the position of two other characters. You're going to push one of them, and then you're going to pull the other. We already went over that. Petition, Nuncio, you're going to push Nuncio away from you, and then pull all characters in the same location as Nuncio. Then, last but not least, you have the courtesan, who is the knight in this game. And this one, you're going to pull a character that is closer to your opponent than courtesan is. And those are going to be the 6 new characters that you will get in the game. And that, in a nutshell, is what you're going to get inside of Avignon Pilgrimage. Alrighty then, Avignon Pilgrimage from Button Shy Games. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. I'll be sure to post that Kickstarter link down below. Before I get started, I do want to mention one important thing. I have not seen the finished version of the rules. In fact, they just said, they gave me this little sheet of paper and said, hey, read the original rules and then add some stuff in. So I will comment, the original version of the rules could have been better. They're not bad, they're okay. So I'm hoping they learn from their mistakes and make this one a little bit more user-friendly. But let's get to the pros and cons. First on the con side, 2-player micro game. Duh, if you're not in the market for either one of those, this is not going to be for you. Also, some people are not going to like the distinctive packaging. It will come in a little tiny package like this. Some people like boxes. You like boxes? Then you probably don't want to get this. Another comment I have with this game is that I wasn't a particularly big fan of the artwork. I can see it's well done artwork, but it's just drab. Nobody's really smiling. Nobody looks happy. It's just like, ugh, and the theme itself is a boring theme to me personally, and it doesn't come across. Like, even if I found this theme, exciting, like, yeah, let's get a new pope, I'd be like, oh, the theme doesn't come across at all. Why does Nuncio do the Nuncio thing? Why does courtesan do the courtesan? I don't know. I don't know what any of that stuff means. And the theme doesn't come across very well. Any other cons that I have with the game? Oh, there's only 6 cards really in this game. So I would recommend, if you're considering backing it on Kickstarter, potentially getting the original version of the game, even though I like the newer version of the game. And so that way you can mix and match the cards. My personal favorite way to do it is just to have all 12 of the different cards in the game. But that is, you can do whatever you want. Any other cons I have with the game? There's no player reference card, at least in this version, and they did with the original. I just wanted to explain what the X does, because that's one thing. There is a little bit of symbology. This kind of connects with the rule booklet where you're like, wait, what does this mean? What does that mean? Once you know what the symbology does, it's very, very obvious what it does, but when you're first starting the game, it can be just a teeny bit confusing. This is not a big deal. I just want to mention it. That's what I got on the cons. Let's move over to the pros. Despite the fact I have no connection to the theme, despite the fact the theme does not come across, despite the fact the artwork is bad, this is still a really rock-solid micro game that I can easily recommend to you if you're in the market for a 2-player game. So what do I like about this game? First and foremost, easy to set out. You can have this thing set out in under a minute. Easy to teach. You can teach this game in under 3 or 4 minutes. It's just, you have 2 actions on your turn. Here are your 4 actions. You can push, you can pull, you can banish a guy, or you can use the petition ability. You'll use the petition ability quite frequently. And then you're just trying to get people into your different area. But where this game really gets better is the fact that there's those alternate win conditions. You can get the noble and the peasant, or you can get the noble and the knight on the other side. I love the fact there's the alternate victory conditions, and this new one adds the third victory condition. The scribe. So I'm a big fan of alternate win conditions in just about any game, period. It's one of my favorite things. Asymmetrical powers, love those. Alternate win conditions, love those. Because I feel like this game would really fall flat if it did not have those alternate win conditions, because then it'd be just boring. You're just trying to get 3 in your different area. That might not be your goal in this game. You might get to a certain point where you're down and you're like, I cannot win this game by trying to lure people to my whatever this commissary thing is. I have to try and get that peasant over there with that noble. So you might be like, I'm going to push this noble to you, and then I'm going to try to get this peasant. And this brings a push your luck aspect to this game that you would probably not see just from reading the rules. But there is a very big push your luck aspect. It's like, all right, there are 3 cards left in this pile, and chances are one of those is a knight. So if that knight pops up, then I can pull or push that knight, and then I'm going to win the game. and it causes you to take this risk where it's like you're going to lose the game if you don't get it. But the game goes by so quickly and so briskly, and it's thinkier. This game is way thinkier than it has any business being when you're trying to figure out, oh, what's the ideal thing to do? And that's partially the reason why I like it better than the original Avignon, A Clash of Popes, which I think is a solid micro game. I feel like this is a better game because I like the card abilities on this one better. It adds a different victory win condition, which I'm always a big fan of. And like I said earlier, I would personally just mix all of them together. But still, I'm rambling a little bit. Avignon Pilgrimage. If you're in the market for a 2-player micro game, I can easily recommend you check this one out. I really enjoyed it. And I think you probably will too if you're in the market for a game like this. So that is Avignon Pilgrimage, the standalone / expansion to Avignon, A Clash of Popes. Man, I'd love to see 2 popes just fight it out. Actually, there's only 1 pope at a time, isn't there? So that'd just be possible. He'd just be punching a dead guy. But rambling. Anywho, if you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know, is this a theme that does it for you? For me personally, no. Just the whole religious theme is not one that I enjoy particularly, unless it's an educational religion. Like if it's actually, I don't want to say preaching to you about the religion, but teaching you about the religion. I played a game a couple months ago where it was like this children's game where you were like racing and you're going through like part of the Bible. And I was like, oh, this is really interesting because it's, story based, but it's actually pulling stuff from that. This, however, just being set in that theme doesn't do it for me. If it's actually teaching me something while still being a solid game, I do enjoy that. But religious theme, do you enjoy it? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube. I don't know why I pointed down again. Pointed up.